Ew, her again? I am so glad to see you too. And in case you live under a rock, my name is Cassie and this is Dose of DIY. Do not worry, you guys are not the only ones that I coerced to subscribe to my channel. It's actually primarily how I use dating apps. Yet another reason why I am undateable. Check out the sign. Unfortunately, I have had a 0% success rate with that method. Anyways, I'm gonna walk you guys through how to do your own tub skirt. So this idea actually came from this random guy. JK, love you, Riley. I was showing him all the updates that I had done to my bathroom. He told me that my tub was boring, and I was like, excuse me? Then after I got over my ego, I was like, you right. And then I posted a video of my bathroom update, and then people were asking me like how I did the bathtub skirt specifically. Since it was a project that I had done before I started recording my projects, before I had any idea that I was gonna create like a YouTube channel, I only had like a couple of pictures. So when people were asking me, I threw together this video. Believe it or not, people felt like this wasn't that helpful, which is totally understandable. So the goal of this is to actually make a video that is somewhat helpful. Okay, so again, I don't have all the videos because I did this before I started recording stuff. So I'm gonna try my best to walk you through it. So just bear with me, I am trying. Okay, so I have one left, but so this is what I used for my tub skirt. So when I was measuring, I was like, okay, so how long is my tub? So when I was trying to figure out like the height, like I didn't have like a fancy method for how I picked this. I was just like, okay, here's like my tub's like this height. I don't want it to go all the way up to the top of my tub. I felt like that would look weird. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have it be like a little bit lower. Measured what I wanted that height to be. Like since this vertical one was gonna be between two horizontal ones, I had to subtract the width of both of these to figure out the height that I needed this one to be. So now it's gonna be time to cut the boards. I got this on Amazon. It is a 1x4 by 48 inch board. So they're really sturdy, and I use them for my tub skirt as well as the frame around my mirror. Okay, so the next step is that we have to glue them together. Okay, so after I cut it, then I put this clamp on it, right? So I put the glue on it and then I put the clamp on it to make sure that it stayed in like the position that I wanted it to be in. So if you've watched my other videos, you know that I typically like to use like Craig pocket jigs to connect wood together. But for this, it's different. How is it different? So upon my magnificent Googling skills, I found out that you're actually not supposed to put in screws and stuff because it can rust and stuff due to the close proximity to water. So just wood glue here, folks. So then I use my wood fillers to fill in like the cracks or whatever in between the wood. And I use this because I like that it comes on pink, then it dries like a natural color so that you can tell when it's dry and when it's good to sand, which I like. Then I needed to have a back for it. And by back, I mean like something that was like connecting here, like a thin sheet of something that was connecting here. Because I had no idea how this was gonna turn out because I had never made one before, so I didn't know if I was gonna like it, so I didn't want to like paint directly in my tub or anything. I bought an IKEA kitchen corner base cabinet that I flipped upside down and I turned that into my litter box enclosure, but then it had like this like piece to it that I just wasn't using and it was super thin and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I cut it to be the back for this and then I glued that bad boy on, and then I used my favorite thing ever. Caulk. Ew, you perverts. I heard you chuckling. It's Caulk. C-A-U-L-K. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones out there. Just when I find one that I like, I just stick with it because I know that I like it. Okay, and I put it in the seams for where the wood meets that backboard so that it covers those seams. Wait, what is the difference between wood filler and caulk? So wood filler, it can have like little wood particles in it or whatever, but the point of it is that it is to go into like where there's holes or cracks in wood. Then it like becomes really hard and helps like strengthen the bond between two pieces of wood or like covers a hole in wood or something like that. So that's the point of wood filler. It is a hard substance that you can sand down. Then there's caulk. Caulk is flexible material used to seal air leaks through cracks, gaps, and joints less than 1/4 inch wide between stationary building components and materials. So caulk is what we were using to fill the gap between the backboard and the wood boards so that it has like a smooth finish so that when you're painting it doesn't look awkward. Like it makes it look more professionally finished, if that makes sense. So then once all that is dry, I painted it, and this is like my infancy in DIY days. So at that point, all I had really used is chalk paint. So that's all I knew how to use. So therefore, the paint that I used was a black chalk paint. I use folk art. Again, like I said, when I find something that I like, I stick with it because I know that it works. I find that when I use this, you can't see like the paint strokes or whatever, and it worked for me, and so I stuck with it. So then I needed to find a way to waterproof it. So some posts say that like on top here, they'll put like a PVC like board or something like that, but to be totally honest, I'm so cheap and I was like, I don't want to have to buy something else. So then I was like, okay, what do I have that I could potentially use to waterproof it? I had used this like marble epoxy kit for my bathroom countertop, and I knew that like the reason I chose that was because I knew that it was like gonna waterproof it. And so then I was like, oh, well, when I bought that kit, they gave me 3 of those like epoxy things and I only used 1 on my countertop. So is epoxy something that you can use to waterproof it? And I looked into it, and it turns out that epoxy is a great way to waterproof wood. With the epoxy, obviously, that's going to depend on the epoxy kit that you get. But for the kit that I used, I think that the main points were that you have to like mix it for like 3 minutes or like 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And you want to do it exactly for that, but then it does dry really quickly. So you have like 30 minutes from the time that you activate it to get it all smoothed out. The mistake that I made when I was doing my countertop was that I made it too thin. So I tried to like thin it out because I didn't really know I had never done it. I didn't know what I was doing. So you don't want to make it too thin. You want to, like, it should feel like it's too much. Like, you should feel like you're drowning in epoxy. Doing that and then checking as soon as you put it on. So you want to try to get rid of any air bubbles, any dust, any hair, whatever, as soon as you put it on, because as soon as that gets like a little bit hardened, you're not going to be able to get that out. So you want to get that out ASAP.
You see how perfectly smooth it is? I put an epoxy cover on it to waterproof the wood, so that I didn't have to worry about if we'll use it if like the wood would rust. Not so shiny.
So who's ready for the recap? Let's go. Measure that, cut it to be the height and the width that you need it. No screwing around here. Glue it and put wood filler. Find a backing that you can use and then glue that, caulk that. Paint it, waterproof it with epoxy, and ta-da! Hopefully this video helps clarify any questions that were not addressed in my video before. But if I did not, then I promise I only bite on Tuesdays. Disclaimer, do not take this as a threat that I will bite you, because that was a joke. Please ask if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them and to help you out. And those of you that are not subscribed, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, yo, I should have subscribed a long time ago. Unlike my amazing, super intelligent subscribers who have been there all along, they have the ability to recognize greatness from the start. Like, they are like the trendsetters. You know those people that like find music before it becomes popular? Like, that's them. And I love you guys. It's okay, non-subscribers, you'll catch on eventually. I can't wink, dude. Just like pretend that was like a cool, sly, like wink. Okay, love you.